Hello everyone, and welcome to the show. Did you know that what we eat every day may be quietly determining the future of our brains? It's true. We often hear that disease enters through the mouth. Right. But this isn't just a digestive system issue. It directly impacts the command center for our thinking, memory, and emotions, the brain. This connection is gaining increasing attention. You might have a vague feeling that modern diets carry certain risks. Could issues like Alzheimer's and depression be related to what we eat? This idea is not unfounded. There's even a prediction that in a few years, depression will become the world's largest health burden. This is a serious problem. Today, we're diving deep into a presentation script about how diet affects brain health. You could call it a neural defense war fought right on our dinner tables. Neural defense war. That's a great way to put it. So, our mission is to extract the most critical information from this material. We need to understand which eating habits are helpful and which are holding us back. Specifically, what roles do the often mentioned pro-inflammatory diet and anti-inflammatory diet play? Let's start by dissecting the invisible enemy, the pro-inflammatory diet. The invisible enemy, the pro-inflammatory diet. Pro-inflammatory diet, it sounds like food that promotes inflammation. But isn't inflammation the body's way of protecting itself? Like when you get an injury, you've hit the nail on the head. A normal inflammatory response like the redness, swelling, heat, and pain from an injury or infection is the body's short-term, beneficial defense mechanism. But where does the pro-inflammatory diet go wrong? It causes the body to exist in a low-grade, sustained state of inflammation. Low-grade and sustained. Yes, you can imagine it like a small fire constantly burning inside the body. Over time, this chronic inflammation damages organs throughout the body. And the brain is especially vulnerable. I say, it's like the alarm is always ringing. So the body can never truly rest. This type of diet is often academically referred to as the Western diet, correct? Absolutely. So, what specific characteristics ignite this slow burn? It primarily boils down to a few key features. Excessive consumption of highly processed foods like snacks, instant noodles, and sugary drinks. These are high in additives, but very low in natural nutrients. Too many bad fats, particularly saturated fats found in fried foods and fatty meats. And trans fats. Yes, many processed foods had a lot of trans fats. Too much refined sugar and starch. White rice, white bread, desserts, and beverages. These cause blood sugar to spike like a roller coaster. Long term, the body's response to insulin declines, leading to insulin resistance, which is, in itself, a pro-inflammatory state. Finally, this diet often lacks protective nutrients, especially the antioxidants found in fresh fruit and vegetables. So, it's processed food, bad fat, sugar, and a lack of good things. That sounds dire. How chronic inflammation damages the brain? Specifically, through what pathways does this chronic inflammation enter our brains? The material mentioned a few mechanisms. It can be viewed from three main angles. Inflammatory factors invade the brain. These pro-inflammatory foods stimulate their immune system to produce many inflammatory factors. You can think of these as small bombs. Bombs, yes, they don't just wreak havoc in the body. They can even breach the brain's protective shield, the blood-brain barrier. They go straight in. Yes, they enter the brain and cause trouble, interfering with the normal functioning of nerve cells. Wow. That sounds like letting the wolf into the house. Disruption of the gut microbiome. Your intestines house countless bacteria. I've heard they're very important. Extremely important. They have a very close communication channel with the brain called the gut-brain axis. The gut-brain axis. Right, an unhealthy diet causes the number of bad bacteria to increase and good bacteria to decrease. When the gut becomes inflamed, it's like it constantly sends negative information to the brain, affecting mood and cognitive function. That's why the gut is often called the second brain. I say, gut health is so critical. Worsening of oxidative stress. You can imagine oxidative stress as the body's process of rusting. Rusting? Yes, an unhealthy diet produces large amounts of free radical unstable molecules that attack our cells, including brain cells. Long-term oxidative stress is like letting the brain constantly rust, accelerating aging and neurodegeneration. Understood. So, to summarize, inflammatory factors getting in, gut imbalance, plus cellular rusting a triple threat. The real-world impact. Diseases linked to diet. Are there more specific examples of this damage, like the diseases mentioned in the material? Yes. Seeing these mechanisms mapped to actual diseases makes it clear. Take Alzheimer's disease, the one where memory slowly fades. One study compared individuals with slight cognitive decline. One group ate a healthy Mediterranean diet, and the other ate a typical Western diet. The Western diet group showed decreased blood flow to the brain, an increase in the beta amyloid plaques, the hallmark of Alzheimer's, and their cognitive ability worsened faster. This is like fueling a sophisticated engine with bad gasoline. Exactly, the waste accumulates, and eventually, the engine breaks down. What about depression? Is a low mood related to food? The correlation is very strong. Studies show that the more a diet tends to be pro-inflammatory, the higher the risk of developing depression. Really? Yes, and women seem to be particularly sensitive. This is closely related to the gut-brain axis we just discussed. But to the gut, right? Many substances crucial for regulating our mood, like serotonin, are produced in the gut. If the gut is chronically inflamed due to a poor diet, mood is naturally affected. It's like the source of happiness has been polluted. The gut truly is a mirror of our emotions. Besides these two, I saw the material also mentioned that diet might be a contributing factor to Parkinson's disease and even schizophrenia. Yes, although the causes of these diseases are complex, increasing evidence suggests that a pro-inflammatory eating pattern, especially one high in saturated fat, high in sugar, and low in fiber, may play a catalytic role in their development or worsening by fueling inflammation and oxidative stress in the body. The pattern is quite similar. Chronic inflammation and oxidative stress damage specific brain regions or neurotransmitter systems. The tabletop guardians, the anti-inflammatory diet. Having understood the enemies in our diet and their methods of destruction, it's reassuring that we can also use food to protect ourselves, right? Absolutely. Now, let's look at the tabletop guardians, the anti-inflammatory diet. The core concept of an anti-inflammatory diet is quite simple. Embrace natural, whole foods and avoid overly processed products. Natural and whole. So, what foods qualify as anti-inflammatory superheroes? They can be divided into several categories. Colorful fruits and vegetables, rainbow produce. They are the powerhouse of antioxidants. Think berries, blueberries, strawberries, dark leafy greens, spinach, and cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, whole grains, such as oats, brown rice, and quinoa, not refined starches. They provide more stable energy and are rich in dietary fiber. This is crucial as it feeds our good gut bacteria. Quality fats, good oils. This is where we emphasize premium fats. For example, the polyphenols in extra virgin olive oil, the omega-3 fatty acids in deep sea fish like salmon, and the healthy fats and vitamin E in nuts and seeds like walnuts and flax seeds. These are indispensable lubricants for our brain function. They help fight inflammation and even improve mood. So, it's not about avoiding fat. It's about eating the right fats. Legumes and fermented food. Legumes, like lentils and chickpeas, are excellent sources of plant-based protein and fiber. Fermented foods, like unsweetened yogurt and sauerkraut, provide probiotics to help maintain gut health and regulate the gut-brain axis. Spices and herbs, don't underestimate them. Turmeric is famous for its curcumin, and so are ginger and garlic. Even though we use small amounts, they possess powerful natural anti-inflammatory properties. Recommended eating patterns and practical steps. The choices sound plentiful. Are there more systematic eating patterns we can follow, like the Mediterranean diet we mentioned? Yes, the most highly recommended is indeed the Mediterranean diet. It emphasizes large quantities of fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Uses olive oil as the main fat source, and includes moderate amounts of fish and poultry, with less red meat. Research consistently shows it helps lower inflammatory markers in the body and reduces the risk of many chronic diseases. Besides the Mediterranean diet, there's also the DASH diet. DASH, yes, it was originally designed to lower blood pressure, but its high vegetable, fruit, low fat, and sodium control features give it excellent anti-inflammatory benefits too. What about the keto diet? It is popular lately. The keto diet is special. It has its uses in certain contexts, such as treating epilepsy, but it requires professional guidance. it's not recommended for people to try on their own casually. Understood. So, the Mediterranean and DASH diets are better suited for the general public. 5 immediate steps for a brain-healthy diet. Now that we have all this knowledge, the key is how to apply it to our daily lives. For our listeners, what are some concrete suggestions they can start immediately? Implementation is the most important part. The material offers several very practical starting points that I think are great. Clear the pantry. Reduce the ultra-processed snacks and sugary drinks in your home. Also, use more steaming and boiling methods for cooking. And less deep fry. Manage the sauce. Embrace the rainbow. Ensure your plate has several colors of fruits and vegetables. Aim for at least 5 different colors daily. Swap bad fats for good fats. Prioritize extra virgin olive oil for cooking. Eat deep-sea fish 2 or 3 times a week. And a small handful about 30 grams of plain nuts daily. For serving. Try swapping white rice for brown rice or adding other mixed grains. Change white bread to whole wheat. Increase fiber. Cultivate fermentation habits. Have some unsweetened yogurt daily. Or try incorporating fermented foods like kimchi or miso soup into your diet. These 5 points sound very specific and actionable. 3 tips for sustaining change. Are there any small tips to make these changes easier to maintain? Sometimes it's hard to stick with it. That's a very important point. The material also provided 3 small tips. The 80-20 rule. Don't strive for 100% perfection. Allow yourself to follow the healthy principles about 80% of the time, and reserve 20% for flexibility to occasionally relax. This makes it easier to stick to long-term. Gradual progress. Don't try to change everything at once. Try making just one small change each week. For example, eat 1 more vegetable this week, and next week, replace sugary drinks with water. Small changes add up. Listen to your body, because everyone's body is different. Pay attention to which foods make you feel more comfortable and energetic, and which ones make you feel unwell. Find the eating pattern that is most suitable for you. This is very personalized and makes a lot of sense. Final thoughts. A vote for your brain. To conclude, we started with the pro-inflammatory diet, the hidden killer, understanding how it damages the brain through inflammation, gut imbalance, and oxidative stress, and its link to diseases like Alzheimer's and depression. We then met the anti-inflammatory allies, including various natural foods and healthy eating patterns like the Mediterranean diet. Finally, we got actionable advice and techniques. In summary, while neurological diseases may seem distant, their roots may lie in what we eat every day. But the good news is that we can actively nourish our brains, protect our nerves, and stabilize our emotions through our food choices. We often say, you are what you eat, right? But based on today's discussion, perhaps a more accurate saying is, what you eat is what your brain becomes. The food we consume is genuinely shaping our brain's health and function. That's well said. Chronic inflammation is not unavoidable, and brain degeneration is not necessarily unstoppable. Choosing natural, nutrient-rich foods is not just about satisfying hunger. It is a long-term investment in our clarity of thought, our memory, and our capacity for joy. I hope you can start making wiser choices for your brain health from your very next meal. I want to leave listeners with one final thought. Every choice we make at the dinner table is a vote for our own brain health. You can choose to vote for pro-inflammatory foods, or you can choose to vote for anti-inflammatory foods. In the long run, the accumulation of these votes determines the outcome of this neural defense war. Consider this. What kind of vote did your plate cast for your brain today?